Hey guys, welcome to the Mercedes-Benz GLS580. There's a lot to go over in this video, so we'll just get right into it. We're going to do a little walk around, show you guys some of the features and all of the crazy, luxurious items in this SUV. This is basically now the S-Class of SUVs from Mercedes-Benz, and it's pretty impressive. There's a lot here. It's a really versatile platform. It has air suspension that can raise up really high for off-road mode and lots of ground clearance. It can slam super low like we are right now in Sport Plus. There's a host of technology and features and usability to this thing. It basically has a computer right here, and there's also this fantastic Burmeister 3D surround sound system, which we'll test a little bit later. So let's walk you around this. We'll go for a drive a little bit later. We are on the winter tires, the 21-inch wheels, though this does come with 23s with the AMG package. It's a big SUV, but I think they've attractively designed it. It's nice, it has nice proportions. They do give you a third row on the back, but with the third row down, you get plenty of cargo space. You can raise those seats here with the press of a button. With the second row forward slightly, you do get a little bit of legroom in there. It's not too bad. And underneath, you get some storage space to hide items. The legroom in the back seat is massive. You even get a little tablet here to control all of your settings, just like you do in the front seat. You have heated and cooled seats here, and you can turn them on at the same time. That's really how you know you've made it in life. Wireless phone charging, and of course this all flips up to become a center row, but really you just want to leave it down because it looks so cool. You have this massive panoramic sunroof, speakers everywhere, vents everywhere. It's hard to get more luxury out of an SUV these days, south of like a Bentley Bentayga or something like that. One complaint I do have about getting in and out of this GLS is this side step is just a little bit narrow. I understand why it's there and why they didn't make it bigger, and it looks good, it looks nicely integrated, but if they could just extend it just a little bit more, it would make it getting in and out a little bit easier, and you can't just really step around it because then you'll get your pants dirty, and we can't have that. Let's look under the hood of this. This is the 4-liter Biturbo V8 paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission, which is fantastic. Some cool carbon fiber there to keep weight down. And this also features Mercedes EQ mild hybrid system. If you haven't already, check out the POV night drive we did on this a little bit earlier this week. You can see how the headlights perform at night and what everything looks like in the dark. Pretty cool ambient lighting, and yeah, what a place to be. This also has soft closed doors, which is always a nice feature in your luxury car. So the first thing you notice when you get in is these two massive 12-inch screens. This can be controlled by touch. You have controls here on the steering wheel, which I will say work quite well. And then there's a touchpad down here with haptic feedback. On this left side, you can change your gauge cluster. There are a lot of different settings you can customize in here. You can see pretty much everything you want. And each menu, there are 3 menus that all pretty much show about the same information, and you can select what information that is. I love how you can control a lot of this infotainment from the steering wheel. Yes, it has a lot of menus. Yes, it's distracting while you're driving, but Mercedes-Benz has implemented this very well into their system, and it works great. This is probably one of the easiest to use infotainment systems. Once you get used to it, with the amount of complexity involved, that I've used. You can see horsepower, torque, stuff like that. There's just endless menus and things to look at in here. It's pretty cool. You get wireless charging down here, and I like how that tilts your phone up so you can kind of see it too. Cup holders that integrate, and you can also heat or cool your beverages there with the press of a button. You have your dynamic drive selector here. You can select individual mode, Sport Plus, Sport Comfort, Curve, which kind of leans the body in the direction that you're turning, which is pretty cool. And then of course there's off-road mode, which really raises the suspension up. And there's a mode in here where it will bounce the suspension up and down like Pimp My Ride 2004, and though I think it's just kind of just a fun thing. You put it in drive and you engage free driving assist, it'll begin. This is maybe one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in any vehicle in quite a while, but also one of the most fun. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Of course, you put it in park and it stops. But fun little party piece. The engineers at Mercedes-Benz having a little bit of fun there. And of course, you get Apple CarPlay, all that good stuff. I wish the Apple CarPlay screen expanded to fill this whole display, but as it is, it's high res, it's beautiful, it works. You don't really need much else. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, so that covers the infotainment. I mean, we're not going to go into super deep detail on this. It's a good system to use. It is distracting, but luckily you do have a nice radar-guided cruise control and driving assist in this GLS580. Otherwise, there are some neat storage solutions throughout. You know, you've got these slide. There's another one here. The materials and everything, the Alcantara suede on this headliner is fantastic. Yeah, you've got many seat controls, massaging, heated, cooled. It's all there. You can quickly change between different modes. Oh, also while we're here, let me just show you quickly. We are in off-road mode right now. Let me show you how high the suspension goes in this mode. It's pretty amazing. So you noticed before there was only about this much wheel gap in the fender, and it's gone up about 4 inches. Pretty impressive. Plenty of ground clearance here. That approach angle is great for pretty much anything you need to do in this. And that's nice that air suspension is standard on all GLS models. It even will, let's switch it back into, let's go into comfort mode here. It will even read the road ahead of you. So if you go into vehicle, let's see here. Still learning this system after a few days. Here we go. If you go into info, you go into vehicle, it will show you there are sensors on the front of the camera that kind of read the road ahead and will adjust the damping of the suspension accordingly. So if we hit this bump, you barely feel it. It's amazing. And larger undulations and changes in the pavement on rough roads, this thing just soaks it up, no problem. It's pretty amazing. I will say the air suspension is probably a highlight for me on this car just because of the versatility that it adds. It adds extreme comfort and really, really incredible ride quality. But also you throw it into curve mode and the handling is amazing. It's very subtle what it does in curve mode, but it just leans the inside of the vehicle, just dips it a little bit, so that when you turn in, you get the opposite of body roll. You get lean in, and it makes for a really pretty interesting handling experience. The cornering ability on this GLS is pretty amazing for the size and weight. This is a massive 3-row SUV, but it handles quite well. It's pretty impressive. Throw it into Sport Plus, and it's impressive in those modes as well. Let's throw it into Sport Plus here just for fun. And you know what? We'll hit the highway here. At speed, it's incredibly quiet. Very little wind noise, very little tire and road noise, as you would imagine. It's a little bit windier than normal today, so we're going to get a tad bit more noise than you would on the average day without 20-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, but you get the idea. And this driving assist does a fantastic job helping you just drive. It does a lot of the work for you. It's pretty amazing. It'll even change lanes automatically. So we'll go around this truck here. It'll make the lane change automatically, and it'll accelerate quite quickly. And then if you want to change back, look at that. Of course, you also get this heads-up display, shows you lots of useful information. Everything in this GLS is customizable. There are so many features and ways to set this car up to your preferences. And like I say about a lot of these luxury vehicles, once you set everything up and get it right to your tastes and preferences, Civic Type R, you don't need to fiddle with it too much. And that's a good thing, because honestly, the learning curve in these luxury vehicles with all their tech and features is pretty steep at first. All right, let's get into a sound test. Audio in this is pretty amazing. While we're on the straight section of road, let's do a braking and acceleration test. The brakes on this are a little bit mushy when you get deep into the pedal. Probably some of that can be attributed to the mild hybrid system and the regenerative braking, but when you're just driving around normally, they're fine. They're pretty natural and progressive. It's just when you get really, really heavy with aggressive braking that it feels a little bit strange, a little bit distant. This 580 is quick enough. I mean, with the biturbo, that mild hybrid system adds quite a bit of torque and a little bit of horsepower. Honestly, though, if you're getting one of these and you just, I mean, the reason you get the 580 is you want the biggest number, you want the most expensive, you want the most luxurious, but really, you get a few extra features in this standard, but there's probably better value in the 450. That said, though, however you spec your GLS, this is definitely a really, really big step up for Mercedes, and it's pretty amazing what this thing can do. Eco mode is, I mean, all these drive modes are really well differentiated. Eco mode will have a coast feature where you let off the throttle and it'll basically turn the engine off. The battery, the mild hybrid system will run everything. Saves a little bit of fuel, but honestly, in an SUV this big, it's not going to be super efficient. That would be another advantage to going to the 6-cylinder, is that you'd get just a little bit more gas mileage. See if we can get it into, sometimes it is a little bit tough to select some of these settings with the touch panels, but you do get the hang of it eventually. Let's go into curve mode here, and we'll see if we can demonstrate this. This is pretty cool how it works. Traction control kicking in there a little bit. I mean, this is the mode that you kind of want to engage when you're on a back road. You're going through sweeping corners and curves. It's kind of the sensation of riding a motorcycle, but a lot less pronounced. You can just subtly feel that inside track dip, just ever so slightly. Very interesting. I will say too, this 9-speed automatic is a fantastic transmission. It's always in the right gear, it's always smooth. Really does a nice job utilizing the torque from this motor. Anyway, this is, as you would expect, this has been a really impressive vehicle this week. You know, I've driven quite a few $100,000 cars and SUVs, and this is definitely up there with some of the best of them. You really do get a lot for your money in this GLS, and it's pretty impressive how this combines all the technology and features to be such a versatile, usable luxury barge. And it's also been great to get back into some Mercedes-Benz products. It's been a little while since we've driven anything from Mercedes, and everything that I have driven from their AMG lineup to just everything else has impressed me in recent years, and this is no exception. So anyway, you guys, if you've got deep pockets and you're looking for maybe the ultimate in SUV luxury, this might be at the top of my list. And if it seems like your thing, probably be a pretty good option. It's definitely fun to see and experience what this has to offer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We will also be posting some stuff on this on Winding Road Magazine's YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.